Hello and welcome back to Cobblecraft. This is my creative server and today I'm going to be showing you some of my favourite builds. The biggest is saved for the end. Now, this is a shared server, so some of these builds that you're going to see today are not actually mine, but I'm going to try not to concentrate on them just because I'm not sure if people want their builds shown off, and you know, I don't really know where they are in their process. You know, it could be half done, it might not be ready yet. So we're just going to stick to my stuff. This is my ideas board. A couple of people have added stuff to this, and some of the yellow stuff is just things that I've done and I've ticked off. These builds that you're going to see are going to have areas around them, and this is just for aesthetic reasons. You know, sometimes I've just got carried away, but most of the time it's because I want it to look nice in the video so people can really see how it will look in their world. This is one of the first shorts that I put up, and this was a building that I'd already made, but I just did a quick walkthrough of it inside. I don't usually do interiors on the creative world. I usually save that for when I've finished building it in survival. But for this one, I really enjoyed doing the interior for this one. This is supposed to be just like a mill where you do you grind flour with the watermill outside. Well, the watermill powers it, and then it turns a mill. I'm guessing that was my thinking. So this is just a little basic kitchen with some drawers. And if you go up here, you can go this way and you find a little bedroom, a couple of little bedrooms, just some storage areas, your cobwebs up there. And then down here, I don't know who lives here, by the way, like people that are sharing like a bunk bed, I don't know. And this way is the mill, so you can kind of look over it. And so the water I guess is turning this and then crushing the flour in this mill. And I've just added some snow and some sand to make it look like powdered flour, I guess. And there's some extra flour here and just some storage. Every time that I do a build, I try to incorporate into the world somewhere so that it makes sense. So hopefully in the end I'll just have this massive world, I guess, just filled with cool stuff. Like this was a little short that I made that was supposed to be kind of like a vineyard. This tree has actually been in one of my survival let's plays. I built this in survival. And if we go around here, you see a lot of trees, a lot of different trees. Just experimenting a little bit, trying to see what works. I do like this one with the diorite wall and the oak leaves. I think it's cute. And then you've got the bigger trees like this one. And I believe I built this in survival as well, but in survival it has a portal on it, hanging from one of the branches. This is one of the trees that I've done a video on. This was before the cherry blossoms came out, as you can see, because I've used a lot of pink wool and pink concrete and the pink glass as well. This is just a little one, but I'd love to do a bigger one day. This is the cherry blossoms tend to be a little bit top heavy and just have a small little trunk here. Now this mountain, I used to be very proud of this mountain. I felt like I did a good job of trying to grasp something that was a little bit more realistic compared to that first one over there, which is just random blocks. And since this one, I've actually done some bigger ones, but this was my first little delve into trying to make a good shape for a mountain and add in like the different the different colours here in the little gaps and do a little bit of shading. You will see on this server there are just different trees everywhere, just hovering. I think this is supposed to be like a willow tree that's like hanging off the edge of somewhere. I think I've done it over here. I think someone asked me to build a tree and they didn't end up using the tree in the end, but I had a lot of fun building it. Around here you can actually see this is one of my back to basic builds. I was trying to do a few that I thought would be a bit simpler to recreate through watching the shorts, because I know that sometimes in the shorts you've only got 60 seconds and there's not really a lot of time to, well, I suppose you could pause it, but it's kind of hard to copy some of the bigger builds. But this one I thought would be easier to recreate yourself in your own world. I'd actually show this in the short, but if we go down here, it's a long way down, and I've built like a little area down here. Lots of diamonds. Very rich cave right there. I wish it was that easy in survival. Around here is one of the other back to basics that I did, and this is just a really small ruin. I used this for a spawn point for an ultra hardcore event that we did, and I wanted to throw something together, and this was the meeting point. The event was with a shrinking world border, and it was like 1,000 blocks, and this was the end point where people would fight to the death, and I just wanted something really quick that I could throw up. And I liked it so much I ended up doing like a little short on it. Over here is where I've done some chunk builds. These are all one chunk and I've tried to fit them in. This is a little bakery I did. This is all the items for the bakery. Now this actually is my biggest video, and it is a little maze here with an enchanter in the middle, and it is literally just azaleas with moss on top, and people really seemed to like the idea of this. Can I find my way to it quickly? Do I remember? Is it this way? There we go. And obviously you could put different things in the middle of this, but I thought this was cool. This was one, a little this was, I think, was inspired by like a song, Gypsies, Tramps and Thieves, and it just made me want to build like a little gypsy cart. This right here is from one of my favourite shows ever, which is Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I really wanted to do one of the war balloons from the Fire Nation.
No kidding. Yep. A balloon, but for war.
And inside there's just like a big burner that's just pumping air into it. This is inspired by Howl's Moving Castle from the anime. It's obviously a lot smaller, and I added a lot more garden details rather than massive house. But it's this bit at the back here that I really like the idea of adding like an engine onto an island, and that's how the island moves around. And another little one here. And this is just supposed to be like some washing that's been hung out. The up house was one of my favourite builds. This was really fun to do, and I've actually recently seen someone use something similar, but they used glass, and it just looked so cool, especially with shaders. The house is not my favourite. It's not colours that I would usually use in a house, but I was really going for like authenticity to the film. this was kind of the start of some Halloween stuff, and just wanting to do like a little Halloween alley here. So when it rolled around this year and I knew I wanted to do builds on it, I decided to keep them all like close together so I could work on this area. And yeah, look, I've called it Pumpkin Alley. And this is the house that you saw earlier. I'd love to come back to these and do the interiors. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Because right now they're very dark and empty. Oh, can I get through here? And the door is gone. Oh well. Yeah, so again, more trees that have kind of like got that creepy look. And I feel like every time I do one, like if you saw it over here, it was quite small and a little bit cluttered. And then this one, it's just a little bit better. And then you've got this one over here, which I think is really cool. This one feels a lot better, but the bigger the scale, the more detail you can put in. Yeah, this was my pumpkin house. Again, I just like taking inanimate objects and kind of like trying to make a house out of them by adding doors and windows, and got some little pumpkins hanging off the edge here. Going back to this one right quickly, this was supposed to be the Addams family house. So there's graves and I liked the use of the dead coral, and then you've got the black roses. Where are the black roses? Here. I've got the wither roses, because in the show she likes black roses, I believe. I thought that was funny. Again, just not really my style of build, but I was going for authenticity to the original Addams family mansion. All these big builds here, the big daisies and this big dandelion over here, which I actually really love this build. I thought this was really a really cute, cool way of doing it, like from far away. If you're up close, you might be like, oh, that's a bit weird, but from far away down here, I think it's got the right effect. And then you can add these little ones here that are just kind of like floating down, like the dandelion clocks do. And this whole build, this isn't the best butterfly in the world, but it was okay for what I wanted, because this whole build, as I was saying, is just the background for this boot house over here. Like, I just wanted to build a house out of a boot, and then I thought, oh, wouldn't it be really cool if there were loads of like big flowers around, you know, to give the impression that maybe like a pixie lives here or a fairy, and you know, they would have all these massive builds around them, these massive flowers and leaves that maybe they use for different things, and it kind of just got away from me, and you don't even really see it that much in the actual video either. And this was just something silly. I wanted to do like a water tower out of like a can of pop. This build here again was another build that was inspired by a song. This time it's Castles in the Sky, and I got it in my head that I wanted to build a castle and then have that song in the background, now that you can do that with YouTube and the whole copyright thing. I didn't expect it to be this big. I built a very small cloud, And I was just thought, oh, I'll build a little small castle on top of this cloud. It was about this size. Just this little cloud here. It was a bit bigger than that. And then again I got carried away and I had to build an even bigger cloud around it. And yes, that was a duck you just heard. It's my ringtone. This is kind of my first... It's kind of my first castle. I've built castles in the past, but they've been more of like a facade, and it's not a full-on castle, whereas this is, I feel, is a full mini little castle where you have the entrance hall and then you have some turrets and some rooms, and I even did the back. I got scolded by my friend Snowflakes and he said that I needed to do the back, so I did the back, even though it was a very quick one with not a lot of detail and a lot of things repeated here, but I did a quick back. Okay, last but not least, I promised you a big one for the end, and this is the biggest build that I've ever done. You can't even see the full hotel, it's that big, and I've actually have to have a mod on the server that allows me to see like a bigger render distance, and I had to make it this big because I was trying my best to get in all the little details, especially this sign here, the Grand Budapest sign. And I started with that, and then I built the hotel around it because I knew how big it needed to be based on this letter in here. And again, this is another build that I'd love to do the inside. I think it'd be really cool to do all the hotel rooms. But yeah, if you stand here, you can't even fully get it in the picture. It's that big. Okay, so I'm going to leave this here in front of this giant hotel, and hopefully I can do another one of these one day because I'm constantly adding to it. And if there's anything that you would like to see a more in-depth tutorial on, any of the builds that you've seen today, please let me know in the comments below and I will try get around to that. Okay, thank you. Bye!